Hello there, and welcome to the Archive in Between, where I read stories collected from across the dimensions. Take a subscription so you can find me again if you decide to leave. Today's story is called Woe Betide by Bot99 on Reddit. Come closer, young aspirants to empire. I see your ships lurking there on the fringes, so polished and gleaming, sleek like deadly blades, ready to be driven into the heart of history. As numerous as molecules in air, a deadly smoke sent to choke the life from this sweet planet in our midst. Send a wisp our way, we do not bite. We cannot hurt you, for we live but are not alive. For we speak but have no voice. For we see but have no eyes. We have nothing except memory, and this is what we offer. Our greatest gift to you, though you know not yet why. Stay and listen, lest you repeat our folly. We were much like you, burning hot with the fire of destiny. In our hearts we knew our fate would bear us to supremacy, over this and every other space. A galaxy of treasures for the taking, current owners notwithstanding. By the number we lived, a measure of our dominance, the portion of our galaxy subdued. Where we went, we cleansed, the slate wiped clean, so we could scribe a history of our own, and slowly the number grew. Point 1, point 2, point 3. As the speed of our ascent increased, so did our rate of conquest. Fresh systems were turned over to the agriculture of war, new planets' fertile soil in which to grow our martial fruit. Our harvest reaped, we sent our fleets onward to plow new fields asunder. And so, the number grew. Point 4, point 5, point 51. At this point we rejoiced, for more was under our control than was beyond it. We had become majority. As the rising tide scours the shore, so had we scoured half the galaxy, leaving it clean, beset by naught but the pure waters of our kind. But the tide falls, and so did we. It started with a fledgling race. Make no mistake, they fell to our power like all others had, their furry bodies and wagging tails rendered still in death. Mere primitives that ran in packs across their garden world, they were no match for even our weakest. We cleansed them and moved on, seeding our own people as we left. No second thought was spared for them. Others fell to us, as others always had. A multitude of forms were ground down into the dust of our empire. Forms of fur and claw and feather, trunk and scale and chitin. Those that had the faculty of speech cried out for salvation and respite. Those that had not simply died, the terror in their eyes their last communication. Their cries moved us not, for salvation was a treasure we were not prepared to share. Soon, we came to learn that they did not cry out to us. An emissary came, from whence we did not know, a ball of light above one of our worlds, a second sun, though even more immovable. Our weapons could not pierce it, nor our threats condemn. "Where are our children?" the emissary demanded. We could not answer. "Fiends! You have transgressed beyond forgiveness. Such beauty you have stricken from creation, replaced only by your hatred. The sentence passed, from you the cruelest bounty we will harvest. 3 plagues we curse upon you." The emissary exploded, with heat and light and rage. Under a gigaton of condemnation the world died. We mourned and quailed in the face of such power. What had we done? Too much, apparently. Enough, undoubtedly. A silence fell, half a galaxy awaiting punishment with bated breath. Patrols stretched, with sensors running hot, searching for hints of their coming justice. We had no name for them, no image, just words of admonishment issued by their angry photons. So, we called them the Admonishers. Eventually they came, preceded by noises from the void. Not the trifling void between the stars, which held no fear for us. They came from the void between galaxies, from the deepest in-between, so black that scarce light ever touched it. Through strange spectrums the rumble grew, and projected their roar into our very souls. The first salvo shattered suns. Celestial artillery appeared, rolled out of that darkest void, to belch forth black holes. Event horizons chewed through our worlds and stars, drawing all into oblivion. Our forces tried and failed in our defense, ripped to pieces while their weapons fired uselessly on the massive tubular structure. Those of us that could ran from the apocalyptic onslaught of the singularity cannon. Ships absconded, shedding any pretense of resistance. The cannon's roar, felt only through gravity, fired for a time before falling silent, but time enough to slaughter trillions. One plague weathered, yet our empire lay gutted, great swathes of it negated. At the fringes of the wounds, the dark and heavy killers sailed on, unstoppable portents of doom for any in their future paths. Again we waited, terror bubbling in our minds. We would have surrendered at that moment had we a way of contacting the admonishers, futile though it would have been. The second salvo was more insidious. While the first had purely destroyed, the second created. A great cosmic shotgun appeared, blinking in and out of space to blast strange substances across whole systems. Where the femtotech struck, it co-opted all matter into a pulsating mask that eventually exploded, spreading its spores further across each system. Citizens and ships that were caught in the deadly mists perished, liquefied down to subatomic slurry. Once all non-solar matter in a system had been converted in kind, construction began. Out of the seething maelstrom, new planets were born, covered in all the essentials of life. Pristine worlds, cleansed of any trace of us, our eons of history erased. More refugees fled, while dark shadows patrolled the regions they left behind, harshly thwarting any attempt at return. The cosmic shotgun disappeared, but in its wake, new worlds lay fallow, waiting for life we would never see. The second plague completed, our empire was all but gone. A scattering of planets, suffocating under the weight of 1 trillion refugees, was all that remained. The wait for the third plague was the harshest. Bubbling terror replaced by insensate madness. Many could not stand it, the call of the abyss less frightful than the coming final retribution. They took their own lives by the millions, preferring a peaceful death in each other's arms. Gradually, some of us perceived it, although some contend that it was always there, unnoticed since the dawn of time. A throb built in our minds, growing more insistent with each passing day. Whomp, whomp, whomp. Unceasing, unrelenting, it drowned out our own thoughts, rendering many catatonic. Whomp, whomp, whomp. The slow heartbeat of a titan. Whomp, whomp, whomp. Then came the scream. With a mental shriek that felled billions, the monster appeared. A ship so large its gravity moved worlds, and at its heart a caged pulsar, held in place by forces we could not hope to comprehend. Forces we had never imagined, even in our grandest fiction. This stellar core spun relentlessly in a pirouette of death, amassing energies so vast they warped reality in its wake. As the shriek reached a crescendo and became a roar, the cage peeled back. A beam of energy scythed out, so intense that it abrogated the laws of time and space. Half a system vanished in an instant, as if it was never there. The weapon recharged. Whomp, whomp, whomp. The other half disappeared. We ran, like a flock of birds before a hurricane. Civilized thoughts left us, and the only thing that remained was a single notion: escape. Whomp, whomp, whomp. From system to system, the monster stalked, more unremitting than any predator had right to be. The weapon it wielded, accelerating, recharging quicker and quicker, as if it fed on the souls of the damned, gaining power from their demise. Whomp, whomp, whomp. Whomp, whomp, whomp. It hunted until there was but one world left, our homeworld. It floated helpless and alone, sheathed in the orbits of 10,000 refugee ships. There was nowhere else left to run. The monster appeared on the outskirts of the system, readying for its final charge. Whomp, whomp, whomp. A whole planet cowered, crying out for salvation. The monster halted. Silence reigned. "Do you seek redemption?" it asked, speaking into our minds. "Yes," we cried. "Will you accept absolution?" it replied. "Anything," we begged, not knowing or caring what form absolution might take, only that it was better than extinction. Oh, how wrong we were. "Then it is done." The cosmic shotgun reappeared, aimed directly at our world. It fired, peppering the planet with round after round of femtotech machines. Our bodies and everything around us dissolved, leaving only our brains in place. The agony was indescribable. Each mind was separated from the rest of its kind and entombed in a monolith of stone. The femtotech satisfied the requirements of biology, providing energy and nutrients to our brains while ensuring that they would not degrade with age. Sensory inputs were provided, sight and sound, and simple radio communications, allowing each of us to talk to the others in the swarm. Once all were recast into their new forms, we were distributed, placed equidistantly in rings surrounding the new planet being birthed from the ashes of our old home. A final pristine world scrubbed free of our disease. "This is your absolution," said the voice. "See this world, seeded with the chemicals of new life, as will be all the others we have cleansed of you. When life has evolved here once more, when it has found your kind and asked your name, then you may ask it for forgiveness. Until then, you will watch and ponder the mercy we have shown you." We had no choice but to murmur our assent. "If others come, give them our warning. Woe betide any who harm our children, here or anywhere. If your caution they refute, then tell them this. You were the .51, and you were mighty, but we are the 1,000. We are humanity." Thanks for stopping by and listening to the story. Take a subscription. It'll lead you back if you get lost, and it'll let you know when I'm ready to read again. I look forward to seeing you then.